All right, so let's take off here. The only thing I can't really tell yet, hang on. Yeah, camera's rolling, so I'm not gonna sweat the camera anymore. We are just gonna be off and running. So I wanna show you something before I get into a subject matter I wanna talk about today. If you notice on my last video, they had all the trusses up and this front up. They were all ready to go. I don't know if you guys can see it, but they have taken all the trusses down. Now remember, I told you the first two trusses fell off, and now they've got it all taken back down. So apparently something didn't turn out right. I don't know what, but they are working on that. They probably got to wait a couple of weeks or a month to get the trusses back in. Yeah, so this ride here, let me show you something here. You guys know for a fact, if you watch my channel at all, and I know some do, and I know some didn't watch the last video, because the number of subscribers is not that many that have watched it. Hi. So what we want to talk about on that is, it's a pretty good video. It's mostly music, set to music anyway, because I was having some audio difficulties again, and hopefully we will have that resolved. I'm testing it here again. That's not what this video is about. The video is about, well, first off, let's start with what we're riding here. We again are riding the Magicycle Cruiser, and it has been my go-to for about 5 videos right now. This will be the 5th video in a row I have ridden the Cruiser, or 5 out of 6 anyway. The other day I had charged all my batteries. So except for the caulk-offs, every bike has been charged. This one we took on the Portland Bridge pedal, 23 miles. I have 68% on the battery. That'll probably drop a little bit as we ride. That is where 23 miles and 23.9 actually, I think. And there is no, the battery lasted. It wasn't all throttle, it was a mixture, a pretty good mixture actually, throttling up the harder parts of the bridges, but pretty good. So if you notice here, I'm trying to adjust it here, there we go. If you notice, I'm wearing on my left hand an arm mirror. Now we bought these arm mirrors, I think, gosh, when we got the Magicycles, I think about 10 months ago. But if you watch the last video, you'll see about 3/4 of the way into it, I lost this mirror right here. And if you watch the video, you'll see how I lost it, and you can comment, big dummy or whatever. So that's that. Anyway, I like the video. It's 1080p. It uploaded quick. It's 1080p because it was on the 360 cam. All right. So the other thing we're going to talk about, and this is what this video is about. This video is about has Magicycle come of age? So let's talk about that for a little bit. Like I said, this is not going to be some great big long ride. This is going to be a ride where I want to ask a few questions, and I'd love some answers, and I'd love for this video to get some good responses and good viewers. So I know a lot of people now are looking at bikes, and we're coming towards we're middle of summer right now, but summer will be over in about another month and a week, and then we'll be heading into fall. And one, should you buy a bike? Yeah, absolutely. And should you buy a Magicycle? And is it worth the wait? And is Magicycle a reputable company? And all those good questions. So let's get started. Has Magicycle come of age? when I bought my two Magicycles, I bought them both October 6th, I believe, October 5, 6, or 7, somewhere in there. And the first one came somewhere around the end of October, and the second one came somewhere around the middle of November. I think about 3 weeks apart. And when Magicycle started, they had a lot of people that were new to the company and new to what they were doing, and did a good job, I think, for a startup company. I think they were ambitious, excited to do the work, and did an appropriate job. Now, Magicycle, when they started, obviously started as a GoFundMe, I believe, and sold the bike for $999. What a bargain, right? If you were the first ones to get that bike, this bike, at $999, you got a really good deal. You got a really good buy. Now, the biggest difference in that bike for $999 and even the one I'm riding here, which is Gen 1, this is a Gen 1 bike. That bike came with a brand called nut brakes, and you know, when I first got it, I didn't think they were terrible. My other bike had hydraulic brakes, and yeah, they stopped the bike really good, but it was my first experience with that bike and nut brakes, and heck, it brought me to a stop, so I thought they were okay. Now, the Tektro mechanical brakes are better by far. Yes, they stop you a lot quicker. And then these hydraulic brakes are, these Tektro hydraulic brakes that I installed on mine are phenomenal. These brakes are really, really good. Since then, Magicycle has, they started off with just two bikes and in two colors. The one I'm riding right now, which is the Midnight Blue, and the Pearl White. And the Pearl White was the step-through only, and the Midnight Blue was the cruiser only. So I bought one of each. I bought the step-through thinking, well, it'll be a step-through, my wife can ride it, it's nice, blah, blah, blah. I'll go with the cruiser. The step-through is more of a mid-step. It's not a low step-through. So it really isn't quite made for someone under, I would say, a female, long legs female, around 5'7" would be great. My wife is 5'5", short legs, and it's not the perfect bike for her. Is it a perfect bike for a lot of people? Yes. If I didn't have the cruiser, would I be happy with it? Absolutely. But I'm 5'10", 5'10 and a half, and it's a great bike. If the battery were on it, I would have probably rode it today instead of this one. But the battery was charged and sitting on the desk, and I didn't want to have to pull that out and put it on. An extra minute takes a while when you got to dress all this crap up. But so they came off with the two bikes, and that's all they had for a long time. And they did live streams every day around the, what do you call that? The Black Friday. And the people that were on it was a lady named Sherry and Tanner, and Yao wasn't so present, I don't believe, and Richard was there, and of course Dora made some appearances, and those people did a good job. They only had two products to sell. Well, one product in two colors with a difference of a bar coming down. And so I think one of their primary concerns is, are we going to make it? It's a tough market. There's a lot of bikes out there. And now Magicycle, as of this summer, they're on the water right now. The next two levels of e-bikes that Magicycle has created are on the water. It's the Ocelot and the Jaguar Undi. So the Jaguar Undi is a foldable, I think it's a 500 watt foldable e-bike. And that's a nice bike. Hopefully it'll compete well with, you know, any other 500 watt foldable bike like the Bike Mars or any other bike that is like that. We'll see. It looks similar, I think, a little bit different, but hopefully or the Ranger, right? So hopefully it'll compete real well in that segment. And it should be popular amongst RVers too, because a lot of RVers don't want to put it on the back of their RV and would prefer to put it inside a storage bin or something like that. So, or in the back of a truck or in the back of a Jeep. You know, I put my bike in the back of a Jeep. So, Magicycle's coming out with that, and they're also coming out with the Ocelot Pro. So the Ocelot Pro is a 20-inch by 4-inch fat tire bike that has a integrated battery, hydraulic brakes, hydraulic front fork, 96.5 Newton meters of torque in the back wheel. Very similar to this bike in terms of how it looks, except for smaller, and 20 amp battery. And it comes now in 3 colors: white, green, and gray. So now Magicycle has also a city cruiser bike, a city, what do you call it, commuter bike. So Magicycle now has 5 different bikes in a multitude of colors. You can get the Magicycle Cruiser in its wonderful color that it is, the midnight blue. I love this bike. Or you can get the step through in white or midnight blue. You can get the Ocelot in its 3 colors, and I think the Jaguar Undi only comes in 1 color, which I think is dark, but it may come in 2, I'm not sure. And then the Cityscape is a brighter colored, kind of yellow-green, I think. So has Magicycle come of age? That's the question. Absolutely. Magicycle is now competing, in my mind, with companies like Rad, Electric, Venton, Bike. Now, do they have those kind of sales? No, not yet. They're not there. But is the bike a valid, wonderful product? Yes. The Magicycle has made it. Magicycle is they've lost some of their employees. They've had some changes, and that's to be expected. That's to be expected. No company doesn't have staff changes. Not only do they have a good selection of bikes, they have a customer service that, when they first started, that was one of the things I preached to them on a regular basis. You gotta have good customer service. You gotta have good customer service. And I was one of the original people. You know, I wasn't a YouTube person that got free bikes. I bought my bikes. And now I'm getting free bikes from other companies, and Magicycle has come a long way, even in their customer service, because they originally started trying to help, trying to do the best they could. You know, and China's a long ways away. You know, when they got to put something on a boat and it takes 6 weeks to get here, people complain. They don't have a ton of stuff here in America. They have a warehouse that they warehouse the bikes to before pre-shipping, and now they store parts there, and now they've got an Amazon store that they've got some products in. And they will continue to get more accessories and products in, I'm sure. So I don't think that's on I don't think that's on Magicycle. I think that's on Amazon. Amazon is very particular and very slow to let people bring in their stuff, and especially a plethora of stuff. So that will happen. Their customer service has come full circle. Magicycle is working very hard at pleasing many people. Will they please everybody? No matter what they try, they will never please everybody. They will never make everybody happy. That's not possible. But they are doing a very good job of trying. So yeah, Magicycle has come a long way. They have done what it takes to make it. And now all they have to do is keep trying and keep working. I don't think their problems are going to be, will they sell bikes in America? They will sell bikes in America. They're priced right. The quality is very good. So yeah, they've come a long way. Their customer service is bar none from a Chinese company, the best in the business. So the only thing that's going to stop Magicycle from being a competitive company is not their customer service, not the bike itself, but maybe the market. Maybe the market dries up a little bit with the economy the way it's going, and people will struggle with it. People will struggle being able to afford up to a $2,000 bike. If you want to spend between $1,600 and $2,000, you can't go wrong with this bike. So the other day I was on the Markham Bridge at the bridge pedal, and I needed to move over towards the edge of the bridge because I wanted to look over and take some photo. There was another bike beside me, and the guy was like, "Oh, you go first, you're much bigger." The thing about this bike is, if you're a 6-foot guy or a 6'2" guy or a 6'4" guy, get the cruiser. If you can lift your leg up, get the cruiser, because this bike is massive. This bike looks like a bike that a big man is comfortable on. You won't outsize it, and it won't outsize you. Now, would I recommend a cruiser for even a 5'7" female? No. 5'8" female? No. 6-foot female? Maybe. The step through? Absolutely 5'7" and above. Longer legs, of course. So, yeah, this is a Magicycle's come a long way. Magicycle's only a year old now. Their first shipment was in September, and now their Ocelot's going to be September. So right at 1 year, if I was in a competitive market and I was competing against the likes of a Magicycle, I would try to beat them down too. Oh, they're new, they're not proven, they're this, they're that, they're not using a Bafang motor, Shangji motor's not as good, blah, blah, blah. Oh, they're using the Chinese-made battery. Well, now you can't say that with the 20 amps. They're using LG batteries. And I've never had a battery problem in the year with both of my Magicycle bikes. I actually, to be honest with you, out of the 7 bikes I have, I've never had a battery problem. My two bikes, my 2 Kolkovs are, gosh, 12 years old. Hey, guess what? 12 years old. The batteries still function probably at 70 or 75% of their original use. I still get 20 miles on both bikes. I think Laura gets a little more on hers, but my Kolkov gets 20 miles, and those are Panasonic batteries. They're not anything special. So yeah. So don't believe all the hype that, oh, they use an inferior battery. This is not an inferior battery. Tesla uses these batteries. This is a bike that you can be proud of owning. At the bridge pedal, my bike was every bit as good as everyone else's I saw. Oh, and that's another thing I want to mention. We always talk about, you know, people talking crap about e-bike riders and oh, you know, you cheater and this and that. I want you to know this. This is the first year. So I've been going to the bridge pedal probably 8 years. This year, the electric bikes numbered about 30% or better. In the past, I know I have been to the bridge pedal where me and Laura and our friends were just the only e-bikes. Seemed like you'd very rarely see one. And if you did, you were like, oh, look, hey, they got an e-bike too. But now, and even last year, I would say they were 15% maybe. Now, it was like every third bike. If not better. I had told that to Laura, and she goes, "No, I think it's probably higher than that." So, yeah, there's a market for them. They're coming around, and they will be a force to be reckoned with. In that, with gas prices as high as it is, and you got short commutes, and you need to go somewhere that's, you know, maybe 5 miles away or 7 miles away, you can ride an e-bike and get the job done rather than taking a car and putting, you know, 6 miles on it and drinking up a half a tank or half a gallon of gas. All right, guys, that's all I wanted to talk to you about. Is Magicycle has come a long way. They have made it, and I think that you would be just fine getting a Magicycle bike, and certainly look at that Ocelot Pro. And if you're confined by space, look at the Jaguar Undi as well. The Cruiser and the step through on the 26-inch tire bike, big bikes. Apartment living might not be the type of living you want to do with these bikes, but anyway, give a like, share, and subscribe. I appreciate you joining me, and we'll catch you on the next episode.